Donnie and Dolly. The team is supported by ableauctions.ca. Closing your business? We can help.
Wednesday, and all of our guests today brought to you by our title sponsor, Able Auctions, ableauctions.ca, big industrial equipment auction that goes May 2nd, tomorrow. We got Craig Button yet? Over in Finland? He's at the World Under-18 Championships? No? Not yet. Okay. Man, I really wish that I could have that moment back where I read that submission into the Delaney's OK Tire and Langley inbox, saying it would have been a 5-on-3.
Yeah.
Like, I have so many people now.
We got a ton of texts.
So many submissions questioning my intelligence.
Yep.
And not only because I'm working with you two, but because of that moment. It would have been a 5-on-4.
Yes, it would have been.
Why don't you say something at first?
Okay, hold it a second. You read it. You believed the listeners, and you got burned.
My apologies. I'll try to do better. Predators over the Canucks 2-1. So the series now 3-2, still in favor of the Canucks. Game 6 will go Friday in Nashville, Tennessee. Game 7, if necessary, if the Predators win Friday, Sunday, and in Vancouver. We should mention we don't know times right now for Friday. Depends how the other games pan out. TV rules here.
Yeah.
Same with Sunday. But I'll just throw this out there. I don't mean to curse anybody, but if they do come back for a 7th game, these two teams,
yep.
What are the chances of the Canucks losing 3 games at home?
I don't see it. Their record at home, Donnie, and I got this. They were great at home this year, 27-9-5.
Well, they've lost 2 games already at home.
Yeah, I know. And the problem with the home games, in the last 2 games, they've only scored 1 goal each, and both by Zadorov at home. And that's another problem they got right now, Don. 12 goals in 5 games. They had 5 20-goal scorers during the regular season. Take Besser out of the equation. He's got 4 goals. Obviously, he's hot. Miller's got 1. Pettersson, Höglander, Garland are sitting at 0. Mm-hmm. It's time for others in the top 6 to chip in, Don, and you can't have Besser scoring all the goals, and that's a big. The amount of shots they're getting is 18 average. That's a problem, but others got to pick it up in the top 6 as well.
This was okay. I was going to talk about Elias Pettersson. We do that a lot on the show. Maybe we'll have time for that later. There was a really interesting moment in the post-game comments with Rick Tocchet yesterday.
Yes.
If we can run that, we'll do that later. Joined now from Finland by TSN scouting director Craig Button. He's at the World Under-18s in Finland. Craig, thanks for doing this, sir. How are you?
I'm great, Donnie. It's just a little bit after 9 o'clock here in Helsinki. We got the daylight becomes long, but there's some really good scores here. And yeah. Rick just listened to you talk about maybe the Canucks could use 1 or 2 of them. But one of the things that the Canucks really did a great job of this year, I think, is how much they improved their defensive play. But now you're on the margins, right? And you need players that are capable of scoring. And I know we talk about Elias Pettersson, but boy, he really hasn't been a factor, and he should be a factor. It's not so much that he can be a factor; he needs to be a factor, and he hasn't been one.
Your reaction, Craig, to the trouble the Canucks are having with the Predators, does that say more about the Canucks or more about Nashville?
Yeah, I always thought that Nashville was going to be a hard out. They play hard, they play quick. They have an excellent goaltender. When Vancouver went into Nashville and they won those 2 games, I mean, obviously the comeback was really special. It's rare, but they found a way to, tie a game and then win a game. And that's what the playoffs is about a lot of the times. It's about finding a way. And certainly there's going to be obstacles and challenges in front of you. But to Rick and yours point and listening in on it, you need more. And you're not asking players that can't score to score. You're asking players that do score and are capable of scoring to dig in. And I'm amazed and to me with Elias Pettersson, this has been a 6-week problem. It's been a 2-month problem. This isn't something that just reared its head come playoff time. This has been going on for 2 months, and it's not good. And like, to me, he's got to find a way to push through resistance. To me, he's been too docile and too passive in his play. And if that's the way he's going to play, he's not going to score.
And his 8-year contract kicks in next season,
Yeah.
Craig. Yeah. I don't know how closely you watch the game over in Finland, Craig. I know you watch everything. But should the Canucks, if indeed you saw it, challenged the Roman Josi goal, the first Nashville goal?
Yeah, well, here's like Rick Tocchet, and we saw this earlier in the series, Donnie. He wanted some. He doesn't want us. We should challenge it. He wants to say, we're sure. I think what Rick is balancing out right now is that he knows that the games are tight. He knows that one goal here, one goal there can be the difference in a game, and he doesn't want to give a power play. And I think that so what Rick is asking, what I'm seeing from Rick is, you better tell me that this is one we better challenge. You better not tell me, oh, I think we should challenge it. Your job is to be sure that this is one that we can win. So I think that Rick is a little bit hesitant. I think if he was a little bit more confident in his offense and he wasn't concerned about giving up a power play by a failed challenge, that he might be more willing to do it. But I think he's trying to balance both those things out. And, it becomes the importance of your video coach to take a position and say, no, we got to do this. And Rick said that earlier in the series. I forgot what game it was, but it was in one of the first games. And he said, are you sure? And the video coach wouldn't tell him. So Brick goes, I'm not challenging.
Craig, the finalists are out for the Norris this morning. Hughes, Makar, Josi. Who do you got? Come on, let's hear it.
You know who I am. Do you think I changed my mind? I've already submitted my ballot. At number one is Quinn Hughes. I think it's so clear cut. For me, he's been the NHL's best defenseman this year. I think he's been everything you want from your defenseman in terms of driving play and such a factor. I mean, just think about that goal. The tying goal. I mean, that type of play, and I know it's a special play, but for me, and I do feel this, guys, about Quinn, and it's not. I'm not trying to hear to be criticized. We know Cale Makar is a great defenseman, and we know Roman Josi is a great, and Victor Hedman, and we know that. But I don't think there's enough eyeballs on Quinn Hughes. I don't think enough people understand how great Quinn Hughes is. He doesn't get the national platform in the United States. He doesn't even really get the national platform in Canada. So unless you're watching and you make an effort to go and watch Quinn Hughes night in, night out, and understand what an impact he makes on the game, I think there's too many people that don't appreciate him. And to me, it's like I don't even think it's close. I think Quinn Hughes is the Norris Trophy winner, and it's not close, and you've heard me say that. And our ballots are public, so it's not going to change once you see my public ballot.
Craig, you just talked about Pettersson, and there's a lot of heat on him in Vancouver, but Mitch Marner's getting it again in Toronto, Craig. I know they staved off elimination last night, but this guy, there was a front page of the Toronto Sun, and it said, "In the Invisible Man." I mean, he's getting a lot of heat. Your thoughts on Mitch Marner in the playoffs in Toronto?
Okay, so it's the same thing that I feel about Elias Pettersson or any player of that ilk. They've proven that they can be top players. They're paid as top players. So when you're not performing as top players, what do you expect? That everybody's going to make excuses for you? That everybody's going to say, oh, well, they tried. Like I heard Sheldon Keefe, you can't question our effort. I don't know if I've said this to you guys on this show. I don't celebrate effort. I think it's a minimum requirement. Don't tell me about effort. Bottom line is that's minimum. That's like having you inhale and you exhale because it's just normal. So when you're getting paid like Mitch Marner, and keep in mind too, I haven't heard it from Elias Pettersson, and I don't expect I will. But Mitch Marner's always complained about, the media tries to divide us, the media is against us and everything. So the bottom line is, Mitch, you're in a prominent role. You paid prominently as one of the top paid players in the league, and you're not performing. You deserve every criticism you get. I'm not talking about personal criticism. I'm talking about playing criticism. He has been the invisible man. He's been terrible, just like Pettersson's been terrible. And if they can't take the heat of that criticism because of their non-performing activities, then boy, oh boy, I think that might tell you something more about. My simple thing is, play better. Get there and show what you can do, because right now you're not doing it.
One more, Craig, regarding the Canucks. What's Nikita Zadorov proving to people in these playoffs?
Listen, I've watched Nikita for a long time. I think Nikita is built for the playoffs. I think Nikita Zadorov is somebody you want on your team. He's got a passion. He plays the game from the heart. He plays it with a determination that I want to win. I want to be a difference maker in the games. He's made so much progress. I don't know if I shared this with you guys. I'll try to be quick. But when he went to Calgary, he played the first game or two, and then he was a healthy scratch for about 10, 11 games. But Daryl Sutter was the coach, and he spent every day with him, just kept spending time with the kids. Here's what you got to do. Here's what you got to do. Daryl's a brilliant defensive coach. And I think that from that point on, Nikita never came out of the lineup, and he just elevated his game. I want somebody that wants to make a difference in the game. And whether you're a third pair defenseman or whether you're a number 4 defenseman or whether you're a top pair defenseman, a number 1 defenseman like Quinn Hughes, Nikita Zadorov does things differently than Quinn Hughes. But Quinn Hughes wants to make an impact in the game, and that's the approach that Nikita Zadorov takes. I want Nikita Zadorov on my team. I thought it was a brilliant trade when they got him. And it'll be interesting as an unrestricted free agent if other teams that are serious about adding that type of player to help their team will be after him. Because if I'm building a team, Nikita Zadorov's on my team.
Man, we could go on and on with you. Remind me one of these days, Dan Hamhuis just talked about academy hockey, and you're at the World Under-18, so we'll do that another time, Craig. We're out of time right now. But over in Finland, above and beyond as always, thank you so much, Craig Button.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.